Okay, so there have been four different global financial systems over the past 150 years. And the one that we are currently on, which is the global dollar standard, is the most poorly designed and unstable of them all. And the world is way overdue for its next transition. And this transition is going to be the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. So my question for you is, are you prepared for it? So let's talk about it. This is the Hey Ed YouTube channel. I am your host, moderator, and all-around nice guy, Edward Anderson. I'm not a financial advisor, so do not construe anything that I mention in any of my videos as financial advice. Always do your own research before doing anything with your money. There has been an awful lot of talk lately about revaluing the price of gold. And listen, they do not do this for fun, okay? So it's not the action itself of revaluing gold, it's what it is indicating. What does this represent? What's the underlying issue that they're trying to address? And the truth of the matter is that since 1971, when they temporarily decoupled gold from the US dollar, spending has been out of control because Congress has not had any kind of a limit. Okay, so the purpose behind having a financial system is control, right? I mean, one of the famous quotes by Henry Kissinger is, if you control the food, you control a nation. If you control the energy, you control a region. If you control the money, you control the world. And that's what these financial systems are about. They're about control. Even Vladimir Lenin weighed in on this. The way to crush the bourgeoisie is to grind them between the millstones of taxation and inflation. Did that sound familiar? So since we went off the gold standard in 1971, the government has had no constraints. They've been spending money like it's play money. They don't understand basic economics. And the reason why they spent so much money, they printed so much money, is because it's about influence and it's about power and it's about greed. We are in an unconstrained debt system. We are debt-based economies, and that it is unsustainable. Our national debt right now stands at $37 trillion with no end in sight. Now, all systems come to an end. Let me remind you of the progression of the world reserve currencies since 1450. So back in 1450, Portugal had the reserve currency for 80 years. After them, it was Spain for 110 years. Then the Netherlands, 80 years. France, 95 years. Britain, 105 years. And now the United States at 99 years. Okay, so that chart was made 4 years ago, right? So the US dollar has been the world reserve currency now for 99 years. So historically speaking, the US dollar as a reserve currency is pretty long in the tooth. We're at the tail end of the average of world reserve currencies since 1450. I mean, so the US dollar is under attack. It is being eroded. Our buying power, remember, our buying power since 1913 has gone down 98%. And that was all due to the mismanagement of our government. Again, because there was no constraints. Gold was no longer tied to the US dollar. Our politicians were free to spend whatever they want with absolutely no constraints. Well, this is unsustainable. So what would happen if they revalued gold? Well, right now, the official price pegged by the Treasury for gold is $42.22 an ounce. So at that price, at that $42 price, that's $11 billion. But the actual market price of gold is actually over $3,000 an ounce. Let's just use $3,000 for round numbers. So if they were to revalue the price of gold to the current market price of gold, that would put our balance sheet in gold at $784 billion. I mean, just insane numbers, right? The global population owns less than 1% of gold and silver. 1%. So just by going out and buying one little silver coin, you will automatically be in the 1% of the global population. That's pretty cool, huh? So just by owning one little silver coin, not only that, but the global assets under management, this is money managed by professional portfolio managers, right? Is $127 trillion. Okay, that's a total amount of money being controlled by asset managers around the world. $127 trillion. The amount of gold in those portfolios is less than 1% of the portfolio value, just 1%. Annual gold production is $0.2 trillion. So if portfolio managers just increased their holdings of gold by just 1%, that would equate to 5 years worth of total global production. This just goes to show you how underrepresented gold is by professional money managers. And gold is popular now. I mean, YouTube videos are all over the place now talking about the importance of gold. I've been talking to you about this for 3 years. Remember, the mantra on this channel is get your money out of the bank, acquire gold and silver, and establish streams of passive recurring income. And the need for buying gold now is more important than ever. Look at the performance of the gold ETF. I mean, this chart shows you the value of call put volume. Even Donald Trump is weighing in on this. The golden rule of negotiating and success. He who has the gold makes the rules. Thank you. Okay, now maybe he was just making like a philosophical point, but listen, Donald Trump has been making noise about. I mean, he now said he was going to audit Fort Knox. I did a whole video on this, recently, and there is a real conspiracy out there that the gold is not in Fort Knox. But even if it is, who really owns it? I mean, listen, if it turns out that the gold is either not there or it's there but we don't own it, we will be in a depression overnight. And maybe that's why you haven't been hearing much talk out of the White House lately about this audit. Maybe they don't want to know what's in there. And maybe they do know, but they don't want to tell you, because if that word gets out, again, we will be in a full-on depression overnight. But if you own gold or silver ahead of that event, you'll be a multimillionaire. Okay, so central banks have been on a buying binge for gold, and there's a reason why they're buying gold. Listen, this reset to a system, I don't know what it's going to look like exactly. Nobody knows for sure, but I can guarantee you that gold is going to be playing a role in it, because gold is actually the only money in the world. I mean, remember, this is not money. This is currency. There's a difference. Now, we call this money out of convenience, but it's not actually money. Gold and silver is the only actual money in the world. Everything else is a currency. And what's the history of currency? It has a 100% failure rate. 100% of all currencies that have ever existed have failed. There is no value to this. This is literally just pieces of paper. These are debt instruments. I mean, if you look on the back of your U.S. currency, it says Federal Reserve Note, which means it's a debt instrument. It has no actual value. This stuff, one day, is going to be worthless. These guys will always retain value and increase in value in times of turmoil. Okay, so just for the fun of it, what are the rankings of the world's central bank reserves? Well, if you believe these numbers, the United States sits at the top, then Germany, then Italy, then China. But listen, that's not actually the important number. Here's the real important number. If you were to divide that gold by the citizenry, this is how it actually shakes out. Now, this is ounces of gold per citizen. Switzerland is at the top by far. Then look at this, Curacao and St. Martin. And then, believe it or not, Lebanon, Italy, Germany, Portugal. The United States comes in at freaking number 12. But the United States has been desperately trying to increase their reserves. Again, what do they know? Here's a 30-day average of the COMEX 100 ounces of physical deliveries. Look what happened this past year. This is the amount of gold that has flowed into the COMEX. Okay, so should you be buying gold right now? Well, let's take a look at the chart. Okay, so as I'm recording this, it is April 23rd. And look at what gold has been doing. Now, as of today, it's trading at $3,200 an ounce. It did get over $3,400 the other day. And what has silver been doing? Now, silver is doing okay. It's doing well. It's trading at $33 an ounce, but it's not going parabolic the way gold is. So as I'm recording this, I would actually encourage you to wait a little bit to start, loading up in your gold. I think it is going to come down a little bit. But if you look out beyond the abyss, if you look out a ways, gold is going to be a fantastic. Listen, you don't buy gold and silver, ironically, to make money. You buy them to preserve your wealth. to protect against the downside in your portfolio, to protect a possible meltdown in the stock market, in the economy. That's why you buy gold. You buy gold to preserve your wealth. Remember, the US dollar has lost 98% of its value since 1913, whereas gold is up exponentially over that time. That's the real evil of inflation, right? It erodes the value, the buying power of your currency. And gold is the natural hedge against that. But you know what? Take a look at silver, okay? Because silver has not had its pump yet. I think silver is going to. Listen, both of these markets, gold and silver, but especially with silver, it is such a corrupt and rigged market. A lot of corruption in the silver market. The COMEX, a criminal operation. The LBMA out of London, a criminal operation. But they are what they are. I don't know why these guys are not, in jail. But at some point, these precious metals will float upward. It'll be unavoidable. And actually, you will probably see short squeezes in both of these metals. I mean, the numbers floating around on gold are just, some of them are just insane. I mean, I did a video once showing that there's a prediction of $140,000 an ounce. Now, I don't know whether that's going to happen, but I've got a high degree of confidence that gold and silver are going to do really well for you. And listen, again, I don't know what this new financial system is going to look like. It all depends on what the cabal decides is in their best interest. And they don't want to do it right away. Okay, they've got to get set up first, right? They want to own their gold. They want to protect themselves first before they do the big reveal for you guys. You are going to be the last to find out. But the way you prepare for it is get your money out of the bank, acquire gold and silver, and establish streams of passive recurring income. Please like and subscribe. Ed Anderson, live from Minnesota, signing out.
Copy that.